I love you.
People who were planning to go to Lollapalooza were shocked to hear that the event would host one less performance this year. That's right, DaBaby wasn't part of the music festival this year and was also condemned by the festival management for his homophobic rant. Let me tell you all about how Lollapalooza dropped rapper DaBaby after homophobic remarks. But before we continue, make sure to drop a like on this video and ring that notification bell. Let's begin. Firstly, DaBaby's life. DaBaby might be going off on homophobic rants during his concerts now, but he wasn't always like this. His real name is Jonathan Lindale Kirk, and he was born in December 1991. Before he was known as DaBaby, Jonathan was known as Baby Jesus. DaBaby was super low-key when he first entered the music industry. He released several mixtapes between 2014 and 2018, and rose to mainstream prominence a year later in 2019. This was when his debut studio album, Baby on Baby, peaked at number 7 on Billboard 200. His second album, Kirk, also did really well and debuted at number 1. His third studio album was called Blame It on Baby and was released in 2020. As you might have expected, this album was popular too. In fact, it included his highest charting song Rockstar, which spent 7 non-consecutive weeks at the number 1 position on the Billboard Hot 100. Secondly, what is Lollapalooza? Before we go into the feud between DaBaby and Lollapalooza, you should know all about this festival. The Lollapalooza is an annual Chicago rock festival that features dozens of hip-hop, techno, and alternative rock performers over a 4-day period. It began in 1991 by Jane's Addiction leader Perry Farrell as a multi-city venue for his own band's farewell tour. Farrell came up with the name for the festival himself and claimed that he chose the name after he heard the word used in a Three Stooges film. Lollapalooza is an archaic word meaning extraordinarily impressive. That's exactly what Farrell intended the event to be. This festival started out reaching 20 cities across the United States and Canada and included musicians like the Rolling Stones, 9 Inch Nails, and Ice-T. The events were profitable and fans loved the idea of this tour, so a similar tour was planned in 1992 with a second stage added. The festival again visited many cities across North America, establishing the format of Lollapalooza during 1997. But soon enough, the tour began losing money and it was canceled in 1998. Lollapalooza was revived in 2003, but it continued to struggle financially, and the 2004 tour was also canceled. But Farrell worked hard to give the show a third chance in 2005. This time it came up as a destination festival in Chicago. The 2-day format was such a success that a third day was added in 2006, and Lollapalooza became an annual event. In 2016, a 4th day was added to the festival, and it became the event it is today. Did Lollapalooza really drop DaBaby? Recently, Lollapalooza announced that it had dropped hip-hop act DaBaby from performing his set at the popular music festival in the aftermath of homophobic remarks toward the LGBTQ community. The event's administrators released a statement saying that Lollapalooza was founded on diversity, inclusivity, respect, and love. And with that in mind, DaBaby will no longer be performing at Grant Park tonight. If you're wondering what exactly DaBaby said to prompt such a strict response, you'll be shocked to hear about his behavior at the Rolling Loud music festival that happened recently. According to sources, DaBaby got up on stage for his performance, and during this time, he made a shockingly homophobic remark. His statement not only shocked the audience, but also the organizers of the festival. As a result of the social media backlash that followed his statement, Lollapalooza decided to cancel DaBaby's scheduled performance at the Lollapalooza Music Festival in Chicago. But this comment wasn't the only homophobic thing he said. In fact, it was just one of the series of homophobic and misogynistic remarks that the 29-year-old made during his performance at the Rolling Loud Music Festival. His comments had other consequences too. DaBaby lost a brand deal with a clothing brand Boohoo Man, and he is also no longer in the lineup of Parklife. This is a UK music festival taking place next month. He was also condemned by musicians including Dua Lipa, Elton John, and Madonna. At the Lollapalooza festival, DaBaby was replaced by Young Thug, another rapper who took over DaBaby's 9 p.m. time slot instead. But after the heavy backlash, DaBaby seemed to have turned over a new leaf and he apologized for his comments publicly on Twitter. He stated that anyone who was affected by AIDS or HIV had the right to be upset, but he also added that he felt everyone misunderstood what he was really trying to say, and that he meant no harm. how Hollywood stars condemn DaBaby. As you all know probably, DaBaby has faced a week of intense criticism from celebrities and the public alike. The whole Rolling Loud incident kickstarted a widespread conversation on homophobia in the music industry, particularly in hip-hop. Lil Nas X, who came out as gay 2 years ago, spoke openly about facing homophobia as a result of his work. He also highlighted how the idea of toxic masculinity runs rampant in the hip-hop industry these days, and DaBaby is just an example of that. Other artists in the music industry also spoke out against DaBaby's onstage comments, including pop singer Dua Lipa, with whom he collaborated last year on a remix of her popular song Levitating. Dua was not expecting an artist she had worked closely with to go off on a homophobic rant in public, and she expressed her disappointment on Instagram. Lipa said that she was surprised and horrified by what he said. "I know my fans know where my heart lies and that I stand 100% with the LGBTQ community," she continued. "We need to come together to fight the stigma and ignorance around HIV/AIDS. It's clear that Lipa, like other artists in the industry, does not condone DaBaby's behavior and might even refrain from working with him in the future." Elton John also spoke up against this incident on social media. If you don't know who he is, John is a prominent advocate for HIV/AIDS awareness and prevention. He took to Twitter to speak up against DaBaby's actions and tweeted about how misinformation can fuel stigma and increase the discrimination that members of the LGBTQ community already face in the world. He also talked about the importance of understanding the HIV/AIDS pandemic for what it is, instead of villainizing the gay community for something that's not their fault. The singer also posted an infographic from the Elton John AIDS Foundation sharing the same sentiment, alongside a thread of scientifically accurate information to school people supporting DaBaby. He tweeted about how oppression is layered, which makes things worse for gay black men in America. This is because they have a higher chance of contracting HIV and a lower chance of surviving it. DaBaby's comments even caught the attention of Madonna, who is a longtime ally of the LGBTQ community. She shared a video of DaBaby's Rolling Loud comments on Instagram Thursday and debunked them in her caption. She stated that the decades of research and resulting treatments allowed people to live with AIDS, and that it was not the fault of the person suffering from it. She also took a hit at DaBaby and stated that she wanted to put her cell phone lighter up and pray for his ignorance. She also mentioned how he should take accountability for his actions because he's caused the community a lot of harm. He's also endangered people who are already vulnerable. She mentioned how everyone had the right to be treated equally, and it was not fair for powerful and influential celebrities like DaBaby to be allowed to make irresponsible statements about the LGBTQ community. Latest news at Lollapalooza: DaBaby's incident might have shocked fans all around the world, but he isn't the only rapper who has experienced trouble lately. A serious incident occurred when Los Angeles-based rapper Gonzo was shot and killed in Seattle's White Center neighborhood. You might not be aware of this, but Gonzo and Tupac were close friends. In fact, Gonzo, whose real name is Ronald Moore, was given his stage name by Tupac when he debuted. The shooting occurred in the 2800 block of Southwest Roxbury Street and led to immediate outrage from the black community. The King County Sheriff's deputies say the victim, later identified as Gonzo, was sent to Harbor View Medical Center with life-threatening injuries. It's unknown if Gonzo was targeted or if this was a random shooting. Gonzo was only 45 years old, and it's safe to say that he has definitely left the world too soon. He was well known as a founding member of rap group Caution in the 90s. This group was famous for their talent and garnered a lot of attention, even as rookies. That wraps up the video. Thanks for watching.